Hello and welcome to the day ahead. It's Wednesday, May the 7th. I'm Andrew Gagan. Well, the local share market is set to fall at the open, with ASX futures down around 0.4%. Equities fell overnight along with bond yields and the US dollar as investors refocused on a slowdown in global economic growth, while traders become impatient for a resolution on tariffs. On Wall Street, the major indices finished in the red as tariffs again weighed on equities. This after President Trump said he would announce levies on pharmaceuticals in the next 2 weeks. That saw healthcare as the worst performing of the 11 major S&P sectors, with Eli Lilly and Moderna both falling heavily. Meanwhile, Ford has suspended its full-year financial guidance and warned that auto tariffs will take a toll on profits, with the company's total tariff impact forecast to be around $2.5 billion. Shares of data analytics firm Palantir tumbled, with investors unimpressed by the company's modest revenue beat and profit. US hotel operator Marriott trimmed its full-year revenue forecast as tariff-induced uncertainties and federal spending cuts hit demand, the company highlighting a 10% drop in nights booked by the US government. And Constellation Energy shares surged after its quarterly results. The US trade deficit has soared to a record $215 billion as imports flooded the country to beat tariffs. US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, meanwhile, has said the Trump administration could announce trade agreements with some of its largest trade partners as early as this week, but gave no detail on which countries are involved. And President Trump has met Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney to discuss the trade relationship, with the newly elected Canadian leader telling his US counterpart that Canada would never be for sale. And Britain and India have clinched a long-coveted free trade pact after that tariff turmoil, forcing the two sides to hasten efforts to increase their trade in whiskey, cars and food. The deal between the world's fifth and sixth largest economies aims to increase bilateral trade by some $34 billion by 2040. Well, US Treasury prices have risen, pushing yields lower, while a well-received auction of the benchmark 10-year note suggested demand for Treasuries remains intact, boosting other maturities across the curve. The US 10-year yield falling to 4.3%, the 2-year down to 3.78%. And the US dollar has weakened further, while the euro rose after German Conservative leader Friedrich Merz was elected Chancellor by Parliament in a second voting round hours after a shock defeat. And the Aussie dollar has climbed to 65.1 US cents, while Bitcoin remains close to 96,000 US dollars. Oil prices have rebounded on signs of higher demand in Europe and China, lower production in the US, along with increased geopolitical tensions, with India launching attacks on militant targets in Pakistan. Brent futures rising more than 3% to $62 a barrel. Copper was up more than 1.5%, iron ore rising 1% to $99 a tonne, and gold has risen to a 2-week high, supported by post-holiday buying from China and concerns over tariffs on pharmaceuticals. Spot gold up close to 2.5% at $3,413 an ounce. Well, it's quiet on the data front today, while on the corporate calendar, NAB has reported earnings with a close to $3.6 billion half-year profit, which is up almost 1% higher than the previous first half. And that is your day ahead. We'll see you again tomorrow.